Streaming from Oklahoma's own digital studio, this is OU Football Update, brought to you by Brahms.
Hey everybody, Toby back with you. It is time for another Oklahoma's own Sports Sooner Pod late week edition as we get set for Oklahoma and Kent State coming up on Saturday afternoon on Owen Field. Don't forget, if you are enjoying our 3 times a week podcast, please like and subscribe. Our numbers are going like this. We're skyrocketing. So continue to help in the effort. As we welcome in again now, my good buddy, our sideline reporter on the Sooner Radio Network, Chris Plank. Hello, Planker.
What's up, T-Row? How you feeling, man? We're getting close. We're getting close to the final non-conference game of the year. How wild is that?
Yeah, it feels like it's been a long time since that Auburn game. All the controversy afterwards and the bye week feels like it's been more than 2 weeks since Oklahoma played a football game to me.
You know what makes me laugh is, so the way that our schedule sets up is we'll do, on a bye week, we don't do any shows at all. So no Rudy's show, no press conference, no coach's corner, nothing. So then whenever we get back to Rudy's on Monday and then coach's corner and then we tape on Thursday, then aired on Thursday night, it's crazy because you're asking coaches about, hey, man, how about that Auburn game? And even in your mind, you're like, all right, what happened in that game? How long? It's been a fun week to look back on that, kind of remind you of just how well Oklahoma's defense played in that game, and get excited for a game that, I don't know, maybe the fans need a little bit of juice for just because we all know what's coming up.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that because after this, every game will have massive implications and obvious intriguing storylines. This is Kent State. Oklahoma's favored by, 45 points. So what are the intriguing storylines for you or that you think Sooner fans should keep an eye on going into this game?
Well, there's the obvious one. I'll grab the low-hanging fruit first. Michael Hawkins getting his first start of the year with the injury for John Mateer. I don't want to speak for you, T-Row, but I think we're all pretty excited about his athleticism and everything we've heard about how he has kind of immersed himself in. I don't know how I missed this, but they're calling Ben Arbuckle Coach Buck. Have you heard this?
I have heard that. Yes. Yeah.
I guess I missed this somewhere. I love it. So how he's kind of acclimated himself to Coach Buck's offense, and then to have the talent around him that he has. It's we'll see what the offensive line looks like on Saturday, but it's an improved offensive line. The skill players, I think, are at least healthier, and we'll see as the season progresses, appears better than they were last year. So I'm really excited to see Michael Hawkins. But there's 2 guys we haven't seen this year that I'm ultra excited about. One of them is Eli Bowen, who we believe is going to get some reps at corner, and I think corner depth is going to be important as the season progresses. There's not a ton of corners that are on the field, but with Kendall Dolby, Cortland Guillory, and what we've seen from Gentry Williams, always nice to have another experienced hand. And according to everything that Jay Valai told us, what is that now, Tiro, 3 weeks ago on Coach's Corner, he was having a really good spring before his injury. And then the other guy is Giovanni Gibson. And on Coach's Corner yesterday, I right away, as soon as I heard it, I'm texting Toby. I'm like, this clip is amazing. Emmett Jones comes out and says that, when you ask, hey, what can you expect from Giovanni Gibson? He goes, a number 1 receiver, a guy who is physical and anytime, anywhere against anyone. Those are obviously 3 dudes we haven't seen yet this year. Michael Hawkins in a very small degree, but I think this is a game that if this team is as serious as we think they are, we're really able to kick our feet up midway through maybe even the second quarter, definitely the third quarter, and we're seeing a lot of young guys out there.
Yeah. No, I think you've nailed it. What does Hawkins look like? How much, we'll see how much we see from Giovanni Gibson, but he could be, in my opinion, a significant impact guy for this team the second half of the schedule. So let's just see what he looks like running around out there. Hopefully he makes a couple of plays, couple of catches. Maybe they get him in the end zone. But let's just see how he meshes with Deion Burks, Isaiah Satania, Keontez Lewis, Jaron Canick, the rest of the receiving corps. I'll add 2 more storylines to keep an eye on. One, can Oklahoma get a turnover in 2025? Haven't come up with one of those yet, and it is driving Brent Venables crazy. Virtually every other defensive category, they're top 5 in the country. lead the country in several of them, but dead last in forced turnovers, which is amazing. I mean, it's virtually impossible to have as good of a defense as Oklahoma has, and they haven't come up with a single turnover yet. And the other one is getting the run game going. And we've been saying that every week, it seems like. But I think Oklahoma's going to be able to run the ball successfully against Kent State. They better. They are 134th in the country in rush defense. So if you can't run the ball against these guys, Oklahoma's in big time trouble.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean a lot. I get it. If you run it against Kent State, so what? Everybody runs it against Kent State. But it does feel like psychologically they need some momentum and some positivity in that facet of the offense going south of the Red River next week.
Absolutely.
200, 250, 300 yards rushing. Like they need one of those big days to where everybody just starts to feel good about the rushing attack again.
Couldn't agree more. And I don't care if it's, listen, Tory Blaylock seems like he's established himself as number one. But I don't care who it is, if it's him, if it's Javante Barnes, if it's Xavier Robinson. This has been one of those weeks. Maybe it's because of downtime.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say the name.
There's been a lot of positive Jay Knott buzz, T-Row.
Oh, he said it. He said Jay Knott's name, ladies and gentlemen.
Right? And listen, I think a lot of it is just, getting that the starting five on the offensive line for Susie, Weewoo, Ikla, Zaida, and Derek Simmons, getting them all to play together, getting that rhythm. And I'm hearing we're probably going to see all five on Saturday. But, we'll find out. You never know. And there's no injury reports this week because it's not a conference game. So you don't really have kind of a day-to-day gauge leading up to kickoff. But I'll tell you what, it's a big game to get that running game going. And I love what Gabe has talked about this week. He brought this up on Coach's Corner Thursday, and that is, Mateer, we've seen it a little bit more north and south, right? He's going to get up between the tackles, and he's not afraid. Michael Hawkins might be one of those guys, not that he's afraid of it, but has the speed to get around that edge and get around the corner. Maybe it's a little bit more east-west with some of the things you see from him. So I'm pretty fascinated to see what that run game looks like with Michael Hawkins out there. But then again, we want to see one of those running backs get going, and I think that's the key forward.
Hey, Chris, lean in. I got a question just for you. Everybody else, don't listen right now. This is just for Chris.
All right.
Is John Mateer going to play against Texas? Do you know?
Oh, okay. So I have a token answer to this. I just want to make it very clear that
everybody, every grocery store, every restaurant, every family member, Chris, the last week is asking you if John Mateer is going to play against Texas. I know they are because they're asking me.
They're asking you. They're asking Pop. They're asking everyone because it's the great unknown. Now, I sit here. We're taping this on Friday. I have no doubt in my mind that there's no way medically that he should be able to play. That is, just over 2 weeks after a thumb surgery for a quarterback to grip the football. But I know as soon as I sit down on Monday, and I've had this conversation with myself, I'm like, dude, don't fall into this. Every fracture is different. People are going to go and talk about the Jared Goff injury. They're going to talk about the Curtis Rourke injury, which this appears to be different. At least we think. Curtis Rourke, Indiana last year, was back after 1 week. I know what the medical world would say. I know what is logical. But I know when I get here on Monday, and if you have me back next week, I'm going to, in my mind, be like, oh, yeah, he's playing. He's going to play against Texas and OU Texas because he wants to. And, with the way draft boards are looking right now, this might be his only chance. They had 5 Raider scouts at the OU game on Saturday. And, listen, I always try to find the Raider scout. It's an issue. But they had 5, including the general manager, John Spytek, on Saturday. People are looking, man. They're watching him. They're going to want him in the league. So it's going to be tough to convince him to come back next year because the NFL is calling. So this might be his only chance to play in OU Texas. That's number one. Number two, what Coach Venables told us on Monday night about John's going to want to be the first guy to do something, and that's kind of his mindset. I don't know if Coach wasn't purposefully planting a seed or anything, but for me, it was okay. All right, here we go. This is a guy that's going to try to do everything he can to be out there on Saturday. Game on whenever they play OU Texas. But, we'll see. Medically, it wouldn't make any sense. I've learned about internal splinting this week. I had no idea that was a thing. Every picture you see of him, he's got a little Band-Aid over his cut where the surgery was. We have people that are sending us pictures from church and people that are sending us pictures from the line at Chipotle, and you got burrito pressers who are asking him. So, it's going to be the great question over the next few weeks. But I'm going to sit here and tell you on Friday before OU Kent State, I think it's going to be tough. But I know if in, what'd that be, 72 hours, if you called me, I would have that, he's absolutely playing.
Yeah.
Playing, Toby.
I'm officially upping my – I've been telling the last 2 days, 35% chance. I'm changing my percentage today.
Okay.
51% chance John Mateer plays.
Okay. Well, I like that. I
want to just stress this. I will be in practice in about 2 hours. I'm saying this before I've been to practice. I have no inside information. I may change my tune later, but as of what is this? 1:40 on Friday afternoon, I'm going 51%.
Let me pose this real quick, and I don't know how much time we have left. Aren't you intrigued to kind of see what Saturday looks like for him? Is he going to be dressed out? Is he going to be on the sidelines? Is he going to be in street clothes? Is he going to be involved? Do they want him to kind of get away? I mean, do they want him to watch from the booth, which, again, I don't even know if we have any coaches that are up in the booth anymore with iPads. So I'm kind of fascinated, T-Row, and again, that's, I guess, part of the nerdiness of being a sideline reporter. I'm kind of fascinated to see what it looks like for him on Saturday, because they already have, they have their offensive analyst, they have their quarterbacks coach, they got Coos down there, they got, obviously Coach Buck, Ben Arbuckle's down there, but I'm real intrigued to see what that role is of John Mateer come Saturday against Kent State.
Yeah.
He's not playing. Just what's his role on the sidelines?
Is he wearing a headset? Is he constantly in Michael Hawkins' ear every time he comes off the field? So forth and so on. All right, we got a couple of minutes here. Have you learned anything to bring to the table for fans about Kent State? What to expect from the Golden Flashes on Saturday?
Well, again, this is good because we can work through this now. I want to put their offensive coordinator in the spotlight. I don't know if we're allowed to do that. T-Row.
Clay Patterson. Sure. Do whatever you want.
Thank you. So I'm putting their offensive coordinator in the spotlight because yesterday Brandon Hall was on with us on Coach's Corner, and he just gushed about this guy. So it got me diving into, his career and his path. And I don't know if there's ever been a more Oklahoma guy that's coaching against Oklahoma than Clay Patterson. I mean, the guy is from Morris, Oklahoma. He is you name it in Oklahoma, he's pretty much coached there. Let's see. I want to go through the list of places that he's been. Southeastern Oklahoma State, Northeastern Oklahoma A&M. As I mentioned, he played his college ball at Southeastern Oklahoma and Northeastern Oklahoma. He grew up in Morris, and that is an Oklahoma guy through and through. Won a SWJCFC championship in 2017. I think that's just a fascinating storyline in this for a coaching staff that has been, just throwing their hands up. What is their future right now? What does it look like?
Yeah. Before you give us the rest of your Kent State knowledge, a quick word from our great sponsors at Brahms.
Satisfy your sweet tooth with a Brahms old-fashioned banana split. Crafted with a delicious banana, split down the middle and filled with not one, but 3 scoops of Brahms premium ice cream flavors. To complete this masterpiece, all your favorite toppings are poured on each scoop to bring it all together in a perfect harmony of flavor. Treat yourself to an old-fashioned banana split at Brahms, where every spoonful leaves you wanting more.
All right, Chris, what else? Anything else about Kent State we need to tell the folks before Saturday at 3 o'clock?
They cannot stop the run. They just cannot stop the run. And if you look back at the Florida State game, every single day the number seems to get larger. I think they gave up 800 yards against Florida State, right? So every day it grows how many yards they gave up. So to your point earlier, this is that game where you really hope the running game gets going. Their schedule was a beast. It always is. These are paydays for Kent State. but they have a very talented coach. They've got a guy in Clay Patterson that can come in and say, hey, listen, I know what this is all about. Here's what you need to do. And they've seen it against Texas Tech. They've seen it against Florida State, and now they've got to deal with Oklahoma. That's 3 ranked teams that they're playing this year. So one of two things can happen. Come out after a bye week, give you their best effort. They learned a little bit. They played better against Buffalo, nearly won that game, and they play really well. Or they're just ready to get to MAC play. And you go out there and you get a team that Oklahoma does what it did against Temple, gets a couple of scores early, and the next thing you know, you're just able to pound it out of them. But I for these teams, listen, you and I have been to Florida State. We've been to Lubbock. Oklahoma's a completely different world. I mean, Gaylord Family, Oklahoma Memorial Stadium. No offense to those places, but they know this is a different world. And I think that it's one of those environments that even though I've had more people coming to me asking if I know someone who needs tickets this week, go. We only get 6 of these a year. It's a home, Toby. We don't get many of these home games. Get out there, get crazy. Make sure that someone who's never gone can go if necessary. But I still think it's going to be a raucous atmosphere because it's appreciative of what this Sooner team has done through 4 games. And it's really it's our tune-up for Texas. Let's see what this is going to look like next Saturday down in Red River.
Number 5 ranked team in America. What do Texas Tech, Florida State, and Oklahoma have in common, by the way? All places have live horses on the sidelines. So maybe they sought that out in their scheduling philosophy in 2025. I don't know. Chris Plank will be on the sideline Saturday for the call. He'll join me for pregame coverage on the Sooner Radio Network starting at high noon when the siren goes off. Chris, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Toby. See you soon, buddy. Appreciate you having me on.
And thanks to you fine folks for watching this Oklahoma's Own Sports pod. Like and subscribe, please, and we'll talk to you on Monday.
Thank you for watching this Oklahoma's Own digital studio stream. Stay with News 9, online and on television anytime for the latest news, weather, and sports.